Have you ever wondered why there's often such a deep-seated mistrust of authority in Nigeria? It's not a new thing. In fact, a lot of it goes back to the very beginning of the country's formation, during the colonial era. Early resistance movements weren't just about fighting for freedom, they were shaping a mindset that lasts to this day. First, let's talk about how colonial rule began. It was imposed, not invited. Imagine a new government just showing up and taking control, without asking a single local leader or community. Right from the start, this power was seen as foreign, aggressive, and completely uninterested in the people's well-being, so naturally, resistance movements viewed the state as the enemy, setting a precedent of skepticism toward any centralized government. Then came the policies. Things like harsh taxation sparked major uprisings. The famous Aba Women's War in 1929 wasn't just a random protest. It was a reaction to taxes that felt completely unfair and arbitrary. Communities quickly learned a painful lesson: the government was there to take from them, not to serve them. This feeling that authorities exist mainly to extract resources is an echo we still hear in conversations about governance today. It gets worse. The colonial authorities also used forced labor to build things like railways and roads. People were compelled to work against their will. This directly linked government orders with exploitation and suffering. In this environment, disobeying authority wasn't just defiance. For many, it was a form of survival. What's really telling is how the colonial government reacted to these protests. When people raised legitimate complaints, they weren't heard. Instead, they were labeled criminals. Resistance was met with brutal crackdowns, arrests, fines, even the burning of entire villages. This taught people that institutions meant to provide justice were actually just tools for domination. Deepening the distrust of law and order, even traditional systems were turned upside down. The British often undermined or replaced local leaders, sometimes installing their own warrant chiefs who had no real connection to the community. This sent a clear message: even the leaders who looked like you might not represent your interests. This suspicion of leadership carried on long after independence. The legacy of these early struggles is a political culture where secrecy and suspicion of authority became the norm. People learned that those in power often operated above the law, with no accountability for their actions. These early resistance movements didn't just fight a foreign power. They forged a collective memory where authority is seen as exploitative and self-serving. It's a powerful lens through which many still view politics, policing, and governance in Nigeria today. Thanks for watching. If you found this interesting, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into history.